Sorry for the mess. I'm moving out of this apartment and in fact moving out of China uh, tomorrow evening. So tomorrow morning, early morning. So yeah, there's a bit of mess around here. So yeah, after 10 years in China, I'm moving out. I'm leaving China. Me and my wife, we decided that it's time for us to go out and see the world. I got this fantastic opportunity to go to Japan, and I've decided that it's a great place to start with, right? Especially because I worked in Japan way back in 2006. I worked in Tokyo for a fintech consulting firm. It was a fun experience, and I was always looking for opportunities to go back. So when I did get this opportunity, when I started interviewing, in fact, I discussed this with my wife, and she was super supportive about this. In fact, she said that it is good for us both before we get old to go out of China and experience the world a little bit. My wife is Chinese, and so it was a difficult decision for her, but I'm super happy that she's been extremely supportive. I truly appreciate her support. Now we are ready to move out, as you can see from the mess. We'll be flying back to India first on 16th of December, early morning at around 2 a.m. We still got some stuff to finish back in India. And then on 21st evening, we'll be flying out to Japan, and we'll be reaching Narita on 22nd. Yeah. Sorry, I'm not following a script here, so it might be a little here and there. So my new office or my new work location or my new company is in Yokohama, and I'll be working in a location which is called Atsugi, right? And it's basically, I would say, suburban Yokohama, which is basically suburban Tokyo as far as I understand, but I could be wrong, so just take whatever I'm saying with a pinch of salt. Now, the biggest question that I keep getting, this is what I keep hearing, right? Oh no, why are you leaving China after such a long time? Some people are saying, why do you want to leave China? Your language skills are amazing. First of all, my language skills are good, not amazing. It's good enough to impress other foreigners, right? But not really good enough to impress the local Chinese. Language skills apart. Of course, there is this familiarity with this place. I've been in Shanghai for 10 years. Obviously, I know the place very well. I know people here, not so many, but enough people. I have quite a few good friends here. My wife also, given that she's from China, she knows quite a few people in Shanghai. But for me, I guess, I was approaching this glass ceiling in the sense that given the fact that I am an IT guy, the opportunity is getting leaner, right? Plus, I knew that, I did not want to be this China only guy, right? I wanted to have some more experience, some more global experience outside China, and preferably in Asia. So Japan was the right, everything just fell in place, to be honest, right? So when this offer from Japan came, we were like super excited because it is one of those economies which is considered as a developed economy. It's good for us to experience that sort of life over there, a different work culture, a new language. Of course, there are moments where we had these. I mean, of course, this is a scary thing, right? I mean, you're going to a place where neither of us speak the language, neither me nor my wife, right? There are people who says, okay, your wife is Chinese, she can read, some of the words over there, but still, it's a difficult move to make. But we decided that it was needed, especially before, we get old, we have our own family. I mean, not right now, but sometime in the future. So we wanted to experience some more of the world, right? Hopefully, we might have opportunities to go, to Europe or North America, or I don't know. But definitely, we need to take that first step, right? Get out of that comfort zone, right? Life here was super comfortable. Everything was, I would say, sort of pre-planned, right? Or everything was happening according to a certain rhythm, or there was a flow to the things, right? And we were both afraid that, a few years down the line, we'll not have the energy to make any sort of change, right? Not that I am super young, but I'm not super old also. So I wanted to ensure that, we make this move when we had the right levels of energy. And definitely, there are certain things which we also considered, like, for example, we both have a bit of asthma issue, right? And I know a lot of people keep repeating the same thing, but in China, pollution can be a huge problem. So yeah, we wanted to get out of Shanghai at least. So when this offer came, it was another thing that, ticked one of our checklist or check boxes. Having said that, definitely a lot of good things that I have experienced in China, right? People were willing to help me when it comes to learning the language. Life is super convenient here. I mean, middle of the night, right now it's like 2:25 a.m., right? So 2:25 a.m. I can still order food if I'm feeling hungry. I can still find a taxi just by like opening an app on my phone and then just like, searching for a few seconds, and voila, I have food on my table. I can find a taxi. A lot of things that are convenient, but a lot of things that and I know a lot of people would say that anything before but is bullshit, but excuse my language, but the point is that the truth of the matter is that we were getting too comfortable with our life, right? And a lot of things like food safety and pollution that was just getting to us, and we wanted something different, at least for the next few years, because we just got married, and we wanted something a little different, right? She's Chinese. I got a 2-year, family visa. I can come back to China anytime. Given the fact that she's married to me, an Indian, I can always apply for a dependent visa for her, and she can come to India. But yeah, there's no but in fact. I just wanted to make sure that we experience a little bit of life. Some of the things that I would want to tell people who really want to come to China now. See, when I came back in 2008, things were completely different, right? For me, truly, it was a soft landing, in the sense that when I first came to China in 2008, I had Google Maps. I mean, I know I'm being silly and things like that, but I had access to some of the things that people outside take for granted, like Google Maps, Google Facebook, YouTube. For a lot of people, that may not be important, but for a lot of people I know, those things are important to stay connected, right? So yeah, for me the first couple of years was super easy, in the sense that I had access to all this. It gave me some time to ramp up to the China life, right? But for people who are coming now, I would say that things are going to be a little bit more difficult, in the sense that you don't have access to the same services that you guys take for granted outside China. But yeah, I mean, you will see that it's not that difficult also. There are a few things that has changed, like smartphones, for example. When I came here, I was using one of those, dumb phones. All you can do is text and make calls. The best case scenario, you can install some Java-based applications for doing some sort of, let's say, simple messaging and things like that. So right now you have access to a lot of these social media applications and all those things, even within China. But these are Chinese applications only, right? The things you take for granted: WhatsApp, Telegram, Viber, Line. None of these things work here. So if you're coming to China, come with the mindset that you will not be able to access these things as easily. Sorry for that. As easily as you did, right? You'll have to start learning the language pretty quick. I started learning the language after 1 year, when I realized that, okay, I'm going to stay here for quite some time, right? But for you guys who really wants to come to China and experience things, I would say that you'll have to start learning the language, or invest in an Apple product, because Apple Maps, incidentally, it's in English. I'm not sponsored by Apple or anything, but that's a fact. Google does not work here. I think Google Translate does, but still there's only so much you can use for translation. And just to give you an example, right, I went to the tax office to collect my tax document. Basically, it's like a printout which says like how much tax your company has paid on your behalf. Now, for me, given the fact that my language skills are okay, I could easily manage that. But there was this other foreigner, and to me it looked like he just came here because he was depending heavily on Google Translate and all those things. He had somebody like send him a message and on his WeChat in Chinese, which he showed to the person behind the counter to get this translated. Now I know this is getting a little long-winded, but the point is that back in 2008, I can guarantee you I could have found somebody who spoke a little bit of English, and somebody who could have helped me with the same issue. Right now, those things are like this. It's let's say it's fast diminishing, right? Even simple things like you need to get a token to get the service from the tax bureau. Let's discount for a moment the fact that the whole interface of that little machine where you get the tokens from are in Chinese. The number they call out only in Chinese, because they're serving 99.99% Chinese. I'm not joking about this. There's literally 2 foreigners that day who wanted to get tax certificates, me being one, and this other gentleman being the other one, right? And so you basically are like looking at the board 99% of the time, so that you don't mess the number. Okay, you would say that, okay, tax bureau is sort of a government office and whatnot. Let's take the example of a bank, right? I went to the bank to deposit some money. I remember clearly back in 2008 when I just came, I could go to the bank, the numbers were called out in Chinese and in English, right? So for me, truly it was a soft landing. So this 10 years, things has changed. I don't know for the better or for the worse. Obviously, there are a lot of people now learning more Chinese, but if you are someone who cannot speak the language, you would see that life is a little bit more inconvenient in these areas. But in certain other areas, you would find that things have changed a lot thanks to the smartphone and all those things, right? You'll find that you cannot go anywhere in China without having a smartphone, right? So yeah, I know that was a bit long-winded. If you're coming here, I don't know. I mean, so for me personally, when I first came here, I could easily find an apartment for like, I don't know, what, $300, $400. Right now, this little place, I'm paying about $1,000, and that's not even close to, being a premium apartment or whatnot. So yeah, you need to readjust your expectations if you're coming to a place like Shanghai or Beijing, where things are pretty expensive. Made in China does not mean that everything is cheap. I mean, things are pretty expensive here. Sorry for that. Okay. Yeah, things are pretty expensive. Things are changing. You'll find a lot of... there's a political shift also that personally I don't care, because that has not affected me. But you'll see that a lot of discussion tends to get very political here these days. Yeah, so my only advice to you is, if you're coming here, be prepared to learn the language, at least for your survival, right? I would call it, you need to have at least survival level Chinese skills just to get around. Your work might give you the luxury of not having to communicate in Chinese and things like that. Good for you, right? But again, all indication seems to be that it's changing, right? If you're coming and working here for a multinational, unless and until you're in a super high position, you'll find that you will be at a language disadvantage. If you're working for a Chinese company, yes, your language skills, especially foreign language skills, are going to be useful. But even then, there is this subtle expectation that you learn the language. So yeah, that's pretty much what I wanted to cover in this video. Longer than what I expected. 8 days to go for me and my wife to reach Japan. So I hope to connect with you all from there, and hope to talk a little bit more about my life in Japan, and maybe even do a small comparison with a life experience in Japan versus life experience in China, right? I try to be non-political about things. There are obviously two sides to the coin, and I would say that if you want to see anything that is really political, my channel is not the channel for that. I just want to talk about life, how I can adapt to a new society. If you want to talk to me about China, drop in a comment. I can reach out to you and we can have a discussion. But on this channel, nothing political, right? Yeah, maybe I'll do some comparison with the political system, but I'm not going to say, oh, this is better or that is better. I mean, it is what it is, right? I'm not going to change anything in this world, especially from a political point of view. So yeah, that's it. And if you made it till this point, make sure you subscribe and press that little bell icon. I think it's about there or maybe there, wherever it is. Thanks for subscribing. You like the video, dislike the video, doesn't matter. I'm still gonna publish, still gonna keep talking about some of the things I find interesting. But hope you all have fun.